Welcome everyone to the first edition of the ContribEx calls for the September edition. My name is Nitish and I'll be your host today. Castle is of course not available today, so um, before starting further, I would like to inform you all that this call is under the CNCF Code of Conduct, which generally says to be respectful and towards each other and um follow each other's considerations along the call. Um, Even before moving further, if any of the new contributors have joined the call, there's a free space for you all to please unmute yourself or let us know your introduction in the chats as well. I think no one is there probably.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Sounds good. I think we can proceed with the discussions for the today. So let me know if there are any updates or the big wins present. Any new items that we would like to discuss as well. We're starting with that now.
I have one, but I don't have to go first.
All right.
Okay. I'll go first then. So fire drill of the week or month. I think these are monthly now. We have the apt and RPM repos for the Kubernetes packages are leaving the Google realm and coming into the community hosted infrastructure. That was the new endpoints, a lot like the registry change. It was announced in August, which is weird to say that's the last month now. But yeah, mid-August it was announced packages.case.io was the place to go, and due to reasons, it's those older yum and apt.kubernetes.io domains are disappearing. So the blog post went out yesterday. I'll paste it here in chat. I'll put it in the notes too. Let's see. What are we calling this? This is called Kubernetes Legacy Package Repositories. There we go. That's good. So yeah, that went out. I got it. That went out yesterday after. Whoa. Sorry. That went out yesterday morning, afternoon-ish. I forget, but yeah, it's out in the world for everybody to see and read and consume. Basically, the impact is not nearly as impactful as the registry change because it's not everything. It's just those folks that like installed Linux and then installed Kubernetes from their, normal package manager of choice. So like vanilla Kubernetes, Bob looked at some stats. It was like under 10%, right? So of all clusters kind of thing is what it looked like. So yeah, the amount of traffic it's getting indicates that we could kind of broadcast the message out a little ahead of the official announcement. So the email went out yesterday before the blog post, and people started posting on social media about it. There was some talk, some discussion in the thread there. I was fine with it, given that I basically said the moment this came up, I was like, we announced something new, and that typically means something old is going away. Get used to that pattern kind of thing, folks. So yeah, I thought it went well, surprisingly well. But if you see the people that were on it, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, makes sense. So Marco was running it, and then Tim, Bob, Jeremy, myself, we all kind of came in and said, change this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And out the door it went. So yet again, someone coming to us saying, hey, we need messaging and comms, and we provided. So yeah, it was a very short notice kind of thing. And I was pretty taxed this week, given it was a short week for me. So yeah, I did the best I could with the time I had. Tim was on it, so I wasn't too worried, just to be honest.
I think there's an announcement as well regarding the same on the Slack channel.
Yeah, there should be. I know they were trying to engage the announce bot at some point. we should put it out there if it hasn't been yet to maybe, we have maybe you don't know, the new contributor Kubernetes channel versus the Kubernetes like org members channel. Like we should probably put it out there for sure. If the bot's not in that new account yet, we'll need to add it, or that new channel, we'll need to add the channel with so forth. So yeah, it might be good to broadcast some stuff in Slack. We definitely need to get some tweets together about it. Obviously, Zapier did its thing and sent it out the door. Let me confirm that it did that. But yeah, we should hit this pretty hard next week on social media. And, that could be through Kate's contributors, our own social media, whatever you want to do. I think the more the merrier on this one, just to catch those people that are all of a sudden like, oh, my cluster's not upgrading. I know there's a new version out. What happened? Because based on the registry change feedback that I got, like at KubeCon EU, most people found out from their like service providers, not necessarily the community. So I found that was interesting. So the registry change was like the first time we really kind of pressed Amazon, Microsoft, everybody else to kind of figure out where their customers are, or just send out a blanket message that these changes are happening to the registry. It impacts all of us. That I don't think is necessary on this one. This is very much people like Kubernetes the hard way. Actually, that's not even Kubernetes the hard way. It's people that are like, oh, I'm using Ansible to install my clusters on all my, bespoke Linux OS distro thingy, that kind of thing. So, or yeah, I'm using Terraform and packages and so forth, so on, as opposed to pulling down binaries, which is what a lot of our people do, it seems like. And the apt and yum repos are just there as kind of, it almost feels legacy, to be honest with you, nowadays, to just have, I mean, yeah, you could do a one-line install of a kind cluster. I guess it makes sense to do a one-line install of a Kubernetes cluster at some point, but then there's all the configuration, everything behind it. So I don't know. Anyways, my opinion does not matter. The big thing is the comms is out the door, and we needed to light it up next week. So set reminders for myself and such now.
All right. I think we can proceed further. The next item we have generally in the updates or the big wins is Spotlight block for the release team project. The PR is out. And I think Federico suggested a bunch of changes. It was very minor changes. And I think this is the PR that we're talking about, right? I have linked it in the notes as well. So regarding this PR, Federico, I have mentioned all the points, whatever we need to consider. Something that we were concerned about this thing, the release team is the only way. I have confirmed it from the release team itself, and they have suggested that this is one of the ways they're actually trying to say it. And I think we can modify this thing as well. We have Tim as well. Tim actually reviewed this blog completely. Tim, thanks for joining in. Would you mind sharing some stuff about the Spotlight blog for the release?
Yeah. It needs to be put onto the two blogs, the Kubernetes blog and the contributor blog, and it needs to, those two things need to look about right, and then that'd be good to on hold. Do you know about doing them in two places?
Yeah, I think what I was thinking of is once all the feedback have been marked on this, I think we can generally raise a PR as soon as to the Kate's website as well. Although Federico mentioned that it needs to be done simultaneously at the same time. But
yeah, I mean, we can discuss what you prefer, but the one of the reasons that I updated the documentation last time was because I was doing it like that, opening a placeholder PR for website and dealing with it in the contributor side first. But after talking with him, he expressed that it was better to start with real content on both sides from the start, and then reflect the changes again in the website one. So the change exists not particularly because I prefer it one way or the other. I tried to reflect what the actual people involved in the process prefer. And when I am the one submitting it, that's what I do.
I'd like to clarify something. I think there's different roles here. So as an approver, what I want is two things that are ready to go. As an approver, I want to say, okay, this contributor site thing is all good. The date's right. It's ready to go. And one of the things that I'll need is that the other blog is ready to go. So that I've got to have two things, whatever. That's what. So when it's ready for approval, you want to have both sides there. But if you're still thinking, okay, well, what's the story we're going to tell? Are we going to have these pictures? We're going to have you won't whatever. If I'm doing early editing and the real question is maybe this is still almost ready for review. That's a different role. That's reviewing. Mm-hmm. And I think, it depends which, unfortunately, there's a lot of hats that,
Yep.
So Tim the approver would like to have two things ready to go that just need an approve and on hold. When we're doing reviewing, then I think, get one thing right and say, yeah, this might need a bit of polish, but we know the date. We know that we're ready to go. This isn't going to need more work, and another week of round trips not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And doing that twice, that's going to be painful.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we have at the moment is not doing it twice. So I completely agree. In general, every blog that we've published always benefits from some editing, one way or the other. Well, this one, I've commented on it. You suggested changes as well. So this is this round of editing is the one that should be concentrated on a single place, which is the contributor side. That's absolutely clear. The instructions right now, the guidelines are that we pick up them. So we prepare things that, to the best of our knowledge, the creator, the interviewer, the person that did the markdown, are okay to submit. And we submit the same in both website and contributor site if that's the desired outcome. Obviously, some things do not go into the website at all, but for those that do, we submit the same content in both. We put the website on hold, linking to the contributor side discussion. We drill down the discussion in the contributor side with all the nits and spellings and clarifications. And once that one is done, the person that opened the PRs needs to essentially copy the content from one and the other and make any metadata adjustments that are different from one or the other. But in principle, no additional editing will be required at that stage because it's been done in the other. Nor should, and I think this is a concern, nor should you feel that at every stage of the editing process in contributor side, you need to reflect it back into the website. Only the finalized version would need to be added there. The difference is that we should start opening both with the same content instead of opening it contributor side and having an empty file at the website. That's how I see things, but it's just to work with the rest. We can change things always.
Yeah, change is always possible.
I think one thing that was I wanted to confirm one thing. Are there any tentative dates we are targeting for this blog to be published? Although previously we were deciding that it will be published before the release, but what are the tentative dates that we should consider right now?
No, so I don't know.
Well, let's worry about the date when we're about to merge it. That's the last change, I feel like.
Yeah, because we're still. So I'm not sure if what I generally do is that I submit things with around 1 week of work planned because I expect people to have commits, changes, not hurry about it. The last one was an exception because Tim mentioned and well that we had a release coming, so we need to do it in one day or something. But it was very very little things needed to be changed. So if you have a target date for 1 week, then depending on its progresses, you can feel if it's ready or not. If they are still open, and like a release, we don't have a fixed deadline. So if for some reason we can't clarify things before the planned date, you can just change it 2 days ahead, right?
Exactly.
All right. Not just fun. Last thing that I wanted to mention this thing was that although these images have been created and I have used the markdown syntax, I've looked at the other PRs as well. It's not yet reflected in the preview. And it's like strange. For example, like literally, I
it
went through this.
Oh, wait. Is it still in progress by chance?
I'm not sure. I mean, I have a VS Code extension installed, and on the preview of the VS Code, it's running perfectly well. I literally made some changes, but it's not being reflected here.
Huh. What's the give me the PR
See this
link.
thing. Diagram.
Does it preview okay locally?
Yeah, he said it did.
So Nitish, there's a feedback loop that's a lot quicker, which is where you run a container on your computer locally, and it almost instantly, a few seconds, when you make a change to an image or the markdown, you can see it in your web browser, and that lets you very quickly see if you got it right.
Yeah. So what is it? 424. Okay, cool. Oh, is it in website? Sorry. Duh, I knew that.
It's on the contributor side.
Oh, contrib site?
Yeah.
Why am I not finding it?
I'll share the link once again.
Thanks.
Perfect. Shared it.
There. Okay. I have the tab open. There it is. Thanks. Let's see. I know Netlify can get stuck and just cancel the job, and that doesn't necessarily come back, but it says it completed everything successfully, which is weird. So yeah, look at the container method, or just do a Hugo serve -df if you have Hugo on your machine. If it works there, you're good.
I think
the links are wrong. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah.
The content/en path is only in the source. It doesn't turn up in the URLs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be able to figure this out if you do that. Run Hugo in either directly, like Chris said, or in a container.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Either way, you get the same results, kind of thing. It's just, is your local environment ready for the site? Is the difference.
Oh, I see this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just blog. That's it.
I do have the images though here, but I don't know how is it internally working then? Because
the link that you're linking to is and it's not an absolute link. It's technically a relative link. The content en part is only apparent. You only see that in the repo itself. On the website, the localization is done automatically based off, browser settings or, people clicking into the right language. So if you take off content/en and it's just blogs, so the year and then the actual blog title and such, that should work just fine.
Got this one. All right, I think I can do that. Sounds good. So I think there are anyone has any new items to discuss on next call?
I'm late to this party, but how do we do about communicating? How is ContribEx comms doing around communicating the change from yesterday, the deprecation of the old repos?
Yeah, so I was going to start hitting that next week, given that today is Friday before a holiday weekend here in the US. Making a lot of noise right now. Our bot already picked it up and shared it on Twitter, so that's automatic. And it shared it on Mastodon, and then I encouraged everybody to tweet about it next week. But I'm going to queue up some posts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just once a day, just reminding folks, hey, or I could do it any way you want, to be honest with you, Tim. We could say it every week, a different way.
There's a PR to put up a banner. So please mosey on over to the main website repo and check that and provide your feedback.
Awesome. Will do. Kubernetes website. Woohoo. Just forget where things are. The banner. Also, does GitHub change its interface every day now because it's annoying? All right. Anything else new? Can we go to the board now? Or...
All right. I think let's go to the ContribEx comms blocks. So SIG API machinery. Federico, do you have any updates on it?
No, because that's in the to-do list, so it's up for someone to pick. Yeah, that first column is not assigned to anyone. At least the spotlight ones. I don't remember API machinery being something that I was working on, or anyone else. It's just something that needs to be done eventually, because SIG API machinery was never done in terms of spotlight articles.
I think I do see a message on the Slack, probably in the in-dev channel, that the folks were generally asking how to contribute to the SIG API machinery. And I think writing the spotlight blogs and understanding how these SIGs function can help them understand. So maybe we can ask them around if anyone would like to pick this up, probably.
Yeah, but that's true. But it's the same with SIG Kate's Infra. As well, it's what when people join the meeting and say, well, I'm looking for something to write about, it's something that we can link them to. So yes, agreed, we should share this with volunteers.
Right, got this one. Regarding KubeCon and 23 tweets, I think we do have the schedule for the KubeCon out. We probably have to start working on this one as well, right from this next week. So KubeCon schedule is out now. We'll start working on this from next. Got this one. notify comms team when a new issue is created. Sujay, I don't think so. Sujay is present here, but Avinesh, do you have any information regarding this since Sujay is not present?
I don't think so. I have any such things about it.
This one. Perfect. So Spotlight is still pending for a SIG infra and promote new contributor workshop content. Since it's on hold, I think we can move further. All right, let's move to the in progress one. Add a 6 architecture Spotlight article. Over to you, Frederico. All right, so there's an update. Moving forward with the confirmation first. HackMD version done and being reviewed with the author. Production readiness next, and by then the others have recently confirmed details that will fit in the sequence. Sounds good. Awesome.
Federico, for this architecture, we are planning something like a series, right?
I think Federico did not hear that properly. Probably.
Oh, maybe let me just write down in the chat.
Federico, can you hear us?
Now I can. I was blocked.
Okay, cool.
Zoom was freezed.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to. Okay, so I'm assuming this is SIG architecture status, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I've made another round of updates for the two that were missing. I have some good commitments for this week, so I hope to have something close to 100% then next week. That being said, I've also started to convert what I already have to Markdown, and the first one, which will be conformance, because that was the first one to be done, is already under review in HackMD with the author. I will share the link in our chat after he had an opportunity to go through it, just to be sure that he gets the chance to change anything that might better reflect the interview there. And the idea, and this is an open discussion, but so we have 5 articles on SIG architecture with a +1, which is to be made after I have a one-to-one, I have a voice conversation during the SIG architecture meeting further down the road. I think that I have the size of the interviews. I think is enough to do like a series in which we will just go through each sub-project individually. Perhaps saying that this is part of a SIG Spotlight series focusing on the architecture sub-projects, and we will have 5 of them. Maybe after they are all published, we can edit the files to link to one another. I don't know if this is usually done or not, but I mean, this is post-processing more than anything. But yeah, that would be the plan. So the conformance project is under review in HackMD, and I'll open the PR for that one. Next one will be production readiness, which is also done, and afterwards we will have API and code organization, and another one. 2 of those are not yet completely ready, but by the time that we advance, I think they will be. And I guess I think it's better to start moving instead of waiting to have 100% of everything. That's my take on this.
Sounds good. SIG testing Spotlight article. I think questions shared, waiting for the response. Again to the Federico. Federico, do you have any updates for the same?
For SIG testing, no, I do
All
not.
right. Sandeepan, I think Sandeepan is here. I'm not sure if he's here. All right, I think Sandeepan is not here. So probably we have to leave that aside. Adding a blog article on the book reading club.
Yeah,
I thought that went away. Did it?
No.
No,
No,
Okay.
it came back like a zombie. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
cool.
it's
I missed the zombie attack memo.
So the quick status is that I'll check with Carlos how are the replies. The target for his reply would be around the beginning of September. This is the 1st of September. I mean, give it one more week just to be to be more to the spirit of what we discussed. The reason why this is resurfaced, by the way, and that's part of the question that I've asked in the interview, was that this got picked up as a CNCF sponsored activity. So
Cool.
that was why it changed. And so, short version, no updates because we're still under we still haven't reached the deadline for Carlos to reply. But I'll ping him during the week.
Sounds good. Let's come to the Zapier automation. I think Suji is not here, but over to you, Chris.
So we need to get together on that. There's a lot of opaqueness to it because we don't necessarily have access to the Google Drives. Zapier does. So we can't see what's necessarily in the drive unless Zapier can present it to us as like a sample, right? When you're making the thing. So it's really difficult to see which part of the process is broken here versus what's working. And then we have to scale that out. So we have to figure out why it's not working all of a sudden. And all those parts and pieces need to come together. Sujay, Nigel, and I need to schedule a meeting. Got a message from Nigel last night saying he was going to forward me something for me to look at. I haven't looked at it yet, obviously. The first thing I've done today, work-wise, is this. So it's a work in progress still. It's not complicated, it's just opaque. And we have to work with that, right? Like we need to get all the right people in the room to just say, we're fixing this now. You know.
Awesome. Spotlight for the SIG node. I think this was assigned to Outwith, right? As far as I remember.
Is there an issue?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the current status is actually it is being delayed by me as next week is my exams. So I will try to actually reach out the pictures next week and try to ready the first draft by the following week. As of now, the questions are ready for the interview. So just that it is being delayed on my part.
So you mean the questions are ready, right?
Yep. They are ready. I will post it via next week, and then as per the chair's schedule the interview, then based on that I can ready the first draft of the blog.
You can always ask for help in the channel if we want you to focus on your exams and we don't want to bother you much in that.
Yes, sure. But as the questions are ready, so I thought I will post them next week after my exam so that I can concentrate on the blog fully.
Awesome. Next one is the SIG release. I think I have already given an update that regarding the PR. Talking about the SIG release engineering, so I think SIG release there has been a separate project that Caslin did. Here is it. So this one is for the SIG release engineering sub project. The latest update is that we're going to attend some release engineering meetings, and by today, we don't have any specific update over it. But the fact that I think the release engineering meetings are going to be started soon from Monday itself, and working with Marcus and Carlos for the LFX mentorship will be a great point to understand how the things are internally working for the release engineering sub project. So by September 1, I think there are no updates. Meetings to be started from next. Awesome. All right. Sub-project lead shadows requirement. Do you have anything over this one?
I think this was something.
Yeah,
Alex
this is
and
Caslin. Yeah, Caslin, I need to sit down and like just go through these things, but my schedule and her schedule have not lined up at all. This would have been a good week, but she was at Google Next, right? Like, it's just how it goes sometimes. So yeah, we need to sit down and just hammer at them at some point, and I hope to have some time to do exactly that soon.
Awesome. Oops. I think there was one glitch from my end. Let me do that.
You want me to share screen? I can do that if you want.
Yeah, it will be better if you can do that because I don't see permission required.
Wonder if you did Zoom's little micro disconnect. Where are we here? Update. No, we were on intruder.
on the in progress tech lead shed requirement.
Okay. Yeah, tech lead shadow requirement. Here we go. View the role handbook, update shadow descriptions and prereqs. So yeah, this is again that emphasis we're putting on. If you're a shadow, the expectation is you'll become a lead of said thing you're shadowing. And we just need to make sure all those role books have that basically. So, it might just be one of those things where I create some messaging, ship it to Caslin, and then see what everybody else thinks, and then we just kind of add it to everything. So we'll figure it out.
Regarding the social media lead shadow requirements, I think not sure. Arpit was the one I think who was working towards it.
No, it should. I think it is another Caslin task.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's been busy this week, so.
Right. Yeah. Same kind of thing. We're trying to go through these one at a time. So
Got
yeah.
this one.
Right.
The next thing we have in the forms is about the spotlight on the contributor summit. Frederico, do you have any updates?
Yes and no. So I've updated the topic with Noah. He told me that is taking care of it and will send me an update briefly. But this is like 3 days ago.
Cool.
The last one, Slack announcement board. Again, Sujay is not here.
The
But I think
announcement
Chris,
bot.
you and Sujay
Yeah.
were working together for the same.
I did images, and I did a PR for this. And it hasn't been merged yet, I don't think.
Where is that?
There it is, right here.
Uh,
So really the thing was here, again, it's a relative link thing. Obviously, I did Markdown and not HTML. Just that for starters, but yeah, since it's already in the directory it's supposed to be in, you just reference that, the subdirectory and the image, and this works on my machine. So feel free to let me add this to the notes, or to the board, I should say. Let's edit. And update. So yeah, if anybody wants to take a look at that and merge it, feel free, or approve it, whatever. LGTM it. I think it auto approved for some reason. I think because I posted it, which is fine, I guess, but I don't know if that's right. Whatever. So yeah, that's that. All right, moving into ready for review. Yes, I need to review this apparently. Take a look at the latest. Okay. So
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. Okay. Look at that later. Update contributor comms team.
is that still up?
It's still open. Bob approved it.
Maybe LGTM? Is it?
Retitled it. Yeah, let me throw LGTM on it, see what happens.
We do not have an initiative.
Actually, let me look at the file first and make sure it's good to go. All right, cool. Good to me. All right. I'll just make this comment. We'll see what happens. Merging is blocked. Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, tide's pending, so we'll see. It'll hopefully fix itself on the call. Yes, I know. Cool. All right. SIG release blog 1 for the release team.
I think the latest update. No. This one is for the release team sub project. The one that is in progress is of the release engineering sub project. So the PR that Tim and Federico discussed right now, it's for the release team sub project, and its PR is being raised.
Okay, cool. So is this done?
Not exactly. We are still on the review phase.
Okay, cool. All right, and then update owners files. No, I guess we didn't do this. Or was
The one for contributor tweets is remaining.
right.
That I need
tweets
to
owners.
do.
Okay, cool. So it's 11:50 here, and I have to like rush out of this meeting. We finished the board, it looks like, right? Anybody got anything else? All right. Anything else, folks? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
I think we're mostly done with all the things. I'm just taking a final look. We still have 8 minutes to go. It's return is 5. Return is 5. Yeah, we have covered most part of it. I think.
Yeah.
That's probably done. Yes. So
good job, Nitish.
We can probably end the recording now. It was the first time, but I think we can end this meet probably now. We still have 7